Take 5. Hey, it's Fayd. This is my 5th attempt at making a Kharabak tutorial without him dying before I finish. Kharabak's got really low health compared to other behemoths, kind of similar to Rezakiri, which means demonstrating how to fight him, you know, without killing him is hard. Gear-wise, bring an Embermane sword. It's a behemoth that's weak to fire. Embermane sword is insanely high DPS. Swords do not really take stamina to use, and bleeds hurt you whenever you use stamina. That's what they do, so bring a sword and bring an Embermane sword. Bring a hammer or an axe if you're good with them. If you're not, don't bring them, because your life will be hell here. Chain blades are not good right now. If you really want to bring one, that's fine, but at your own risk. War pikes, not great in here, mainly because if you have his swarm on you, your Q is absorbed by it. And if the swarm is on an ally that's between you and the Kharabak, your Q will be absorbed by the swarm that's on your ally. You can keep that in mind and use a pike anyway. That's totally fine. The swarm's damage does not remove your special meter. It just makes you unable to use your special when it's there. Armor, like whatever, max out tier 3, low tier 4, that's fine. Lantern, you need to bring a healing lantern. This is basically mandatory if you're having trouble. Healing potions, obviously. Frenzy potions are actually good in here if you're with a group of friends. I'll explain why. Campfires or healing pylons. Bring them if you're having trouble with this. This right here, bring it if you're having trouble with this. And again, heals remove bleeds. So campfires make you immune to bleeds if you're inside of them, and remove a bleed if it's already on you. That's awesome. You can actually cheese this with like 4 friends and just spam campfires the entire fight and not even bother dodging Kharabak because it can't do any damage to you. Most of Kharabak's damage comes from bleeds or from having you bled, which means that you have to dodge whenever it's going to attack you, which means the bleed deals damage, but if you don't dodge, you take continuous damage from Kharabak. Even though it's a little bit of damage, those attacks are just going to keep hitting you because you don't want to dodge and damage yourself. It's kind of aggravating, actually, but not so hard to deal with once you learn. Now, Kharabak has 2 basic attacks, and then everything else that he does is what I'm just going to call like an advanced attack, right? As far as his basic rotation is concerned. The basic attacks are a quick little bleed attack that's close range, and a 180-ish, 360-ish, whatever, tail swipe attack. He will not use the same one twice in a row. The bleed is harder to dodge if you're in mid-combo. Well, they're both hard to dodge if you're in mid-combo, but the tail swipe is not something you necessarily need to dodge because it does not bleed you. So if he uses the bleed, his next ability is going to be either a tail swipe, which you don't really need to dodge, it doesn't do a ton of damage, and it will not bleed, or it'll be a more advanced skill, which you need to dodge, but will have a larger tell, like longer lasting tell, so you have time to dodge, or it will be something that just means he's going to create distance between you and him, which means you'll see the tell and you won't be in the middle of a combo when you're going up to him. So yeah, if he uses the bleed, you start DPSing. It's a window. If he uses the tail swipe, you need to wait and make sure he's not going to use the bleed, because if you try to DPS after the tail swipe, you won't be able to dodge the bleed. You won't be able to. When he's in Aether mode, these rules don't necessarily apply. Keep that in mind. He likes to bleed a lot in Aether mode. Otherwise, that's the way to go. When he is in Aether mode, he spawns these wings on his claws. You need to break those to get him out of Aether mode, or else you're going to be living a very bad life for the whole fight. When you break 3 wings off of a claw, there's 3 on each, he staggers for a short period. That gives you a chance to get the other 3 immediately. And when you break a claw completely, like the actual break part of the claw, that claw will no longer bleed you. His bleed attacks always have a right and a left sort of component to them. They either hit both at once or at different times. Either way, if you break a claw, it no longer bleeds from that claw. As of February 2018, it's I believe, impossible to break both claws. The last one becomes immortal for some reason. But I'm assuming that's going to be fixed at some point, so this information will be relevant then. As far as DPSing him, you want to hit the tail. I know it's called an abdomen, but I'm calling it a tail because it's a monster game. You want to hit the tail when he's not using Swarm. When he is using Swarm, then hit anywhere else. Once the tail breaks, hit anywhere else. Because you don't need to be there anymore, obviously. So, Frenzy Potions. If you're with friends, use them at the beginning, like right here, and at the beginning of any other phase, and wait for them to almost run out, because he gives you 6 seconds of free damage at the beginning, which I'll demonstrate here. Just going to do random stuff for like 6 seconds, and pretty much none of it is going to have any impact on you. There's the tail swipe. So I'm going to get bled, or he's going to use something more advanced. And there's the bleed attack. This is the swarm. I'll go let it hit me real quick. So as you can see, it makes me all like, I can't do things. It interrupts things that take a long time to use, like to cast or whatever. You can attack it off of you. That's just one of his long-range abilities, like advanced skill or whatever. It's much easier to see that thing coming. There's the bleed again. The tail slam almost never hits. I dodge it anyway, but just keep in mind it basically never hits the target. The throw, people have a ton of problems with. All you have to do is run perpendicular to him. If you're like even pretty close up, it won't hurt you. They don't travel fast enough to deal a significant amount of damage when you run. Like, they won't have a significant chance of hitting you as long as you're running perpendicular to him. Not even worth dodging it. So this is a DPS window because he used the bleed. You can never just chill out and let Kharabak do what Kharabak wants. Because what Kharabak wants is to kill you. And if you're not near Kharabak, Kharabak will do just that. So I'm going to get bled here, or a special. Yep, their special attack. And again, I'm using this Embermane sword. It has a dazing detonation cell on it. That's not necessary, but it is helpful. This invisibility, in my opinion, has virtually no impact on the fight. Although, on the snow map, I'm not sure how true that is necessarily. It makes it very hard to see him. But otherwise, usually does not make it very hard. Oh no. So, at that distance, even walking perpendicular, you can dodge the throw. The claw throw, though, unless it's fixed at some point, goes straight through trees. Don't try to hide behind them. You can hide behind teammates. That's definitely allowed. Scummy and funny. This, you have to dodge late. It does tons of damage and bleeds you. If you're in like tier 3 gear, it might even one-shot. I'm not sure. Short window. Oh, I got bled. It's enough time for about one combo. Oh, that's unfortunate. Whenever a behemoth is doing something that like gives you free damage, you usually don't want to stagger them because you could save the stagger for when they aren't giving you free damage. But I mean, that was a break. I couldn't really control it. I guess I could have, but too much trouble. I'm going to get bled here or a special, and it was a special. Nope. Even though that slam never hits you, like I said, you still need to be dodging it. Because it does do a bit of damage. It's just, sometimes you can revive a teammate while Kharabak is trying to slam you, and it'll just miss, and it's a good opportunity. Because in most situations, Kharabak will not let you revive your teammates. I'm waiting for him to go into Aether mode so I can demonstrate the the 3 claws that come out, or the 3 wings that come off the claws. Here we go. So these, you need to break them. If you have an Embermane sword, you can break all 3 in 1 Q. If you don't, you're gonna have to do a little more work than that, unless you're using like an axe or something. Then you can do it with 1 Q also, as long as it's, you know, all hit, basically. Aether mode with this guy is a total pain. It's kind of like Rezakiri Aether mode. Probably lost reference. But it just, everything is way faster. It's kind of like a normal Enrage, basically. And he gets a new attack, which is that one. It doesn't do very much damage, it just bleeds you. Notice though, with my healing lantern up, I have not taken a bleed. So it's pretty much a lifesaver. I mean, I'd be dead right now. I just want to... There we go. Oh, oops, whatever. There we go. Thank you. So he's gonna... Well, okay. He's gonna run. But if he didn't run, he would have lost his Aether mode and probably gone back into stealth immediately, but again, doesn't really make a difference. There he is. He's invisible when he runs. You have to find him again. You can just see the Aether pool or the Aether vent. It's not that hard. So here again, you get your free damage for like 6 seconds. So this is another Frenzy Potion if you have it. Just don't go till your potion's about to run out because you don't want to be fighting him with a Frenzy Potion up the entire time. I might just finish the fight, mute up my mic and stuff. There's nothing else to say about it. Just remember, when he uses the bleed attack, that means you can chase him in DPS. When he uses the tail swipe, that means he's going to bleed you. And yeah, good luck. This guy's got good gear, so definitely probably want to farm him unless you're a Chainblade user or a Pike user, in which case do a Deadeye Cool Shot.